Hello, salon professionals and practitioners, and welcome back to the Savvy Salon Summit, where we're empowering the beauty business to new heights. I'm Suzanne L. Anderson of Be Salon Savvy, and I'm here with Bonnie Bonadeo, the brand connection coach. I hope you had an opportunity to watch her pre-recorded interview. And now, if you have questions, we're here live to be able to answer those for you. So just put those questions in the chat and we will get to them just as soon as we can. So let me welcome Bonnie back to the summit. Hi, Bonnie. Thank you for being here.
Hi, Suzanne. It sounds like everything went really good for your summit. So I was just thrilled to be a part of it.
Yeah. Oh, we're pretty delighted to be able to bring this level of education to as many people as possible. And just like the tagline says, empowering the beauty business to new heights. We just really all hope that it makes a difference for people after the year and a half that we've had, right? Yes. So let's dive in a little bit for those who either haven't seen the pre-recording or decided to watch the live, watch them in reverse order. So I want to give you an opportunity to share what your offer is for the All Access Pass attendees.
Perfect. Well, we talked about 10 digital things that you need to do in order to be up to par, not even an exception, or exceptional in our industry, but just kind of like getting there. And these 10 things that we talked about is really setting up systems and marketing strategies so that you can get your brand out there and get known, because you got to be seen and heard to be paid, right? And that's how it works today. So my offer was to be able to set up a free branding discovery call for any of your all access members. So this will be a free coaching session. And we're going to look at these 10 things based on where they're at and then prioritize which ones they might need to be putting time, money, and energy into in order to get to that next level. And I can tell you, it's not going to be all 10 of them. It's like that's a pie in the sky type of thing, but one or two of them are probably going to be pretty critical for you to get savvy on to get to that next level. So we'll focus in on those 10 items, prioritize them for you. So I leave you with a strategy that is going to help you focus in on how you can get your brand to be more present and your marketing to be simpler.
Yeah. Right. But I think a lot of people in this business still haven't learned or got on that bandwagon or discovered that they even have a brand. What is this, the brand that you're talking about? They kind of feel like it's something that's what corporations do. That's not something that somebody who just has a small little practice, a one-man show needs to do. But you are developing your brand, whether you know it or not. You are your brand. So you might as well have a little bit of control over how that looks. So that's for the All Access Pass members, but you also have something to share for the free attendees as well, which is very generous. Thank you.
Yeah, the free attendees, you can actually download the 10 digital brand opportunities yourself so that you can at least view them, learn a little bit more about them, and see where you kind of see where you rate in regards to that. And you can go to my website at bonniebonadeo.com. And then just click on the Brand Me Agency, and you'll see at the bottom of that page, there's a place for you just to download the opportunity to get the PDF for free with everything, everything that we talked about almost.
Yeah, cool. That's great. I love it. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's dive into it because I love talking about this branding. And like I said, I think it's something that there's just not a lot of education out there around that. So we want to provide as much of that as we can. So I made a couple of notes after I was able to watch our video. And there's a couple of words that you shared that I feel like, because some of this talk is new to people. It's like I used to always say when my client had a hard time explaining something to me, what, you don't talk hairdresser? um, we don't expect you to know the language. And it's kind of that same way on the technical side of it too. When we're talking to practitioners, it's like, yeah, I don't know what those terms are. So there's two of them. The first one is before the fold. You spoke about that when you're scrolling. And I remember when I had to have, so I'm, instead of me explaining it, I'm going to have you explain it.
Perfect. So most of us are on our phones today, but some of us are on laptops and, and like just live computers. And we talked about it in regards to the website. So you want to make sure that you're creating an impact opportunity with a call to action before the fold. And the fold originally was set up as if you were on a computer, if you had to use your mouse or your tabs to scroll down to see what was below that, then you are below the fold. So if somebody logged into your website, everything that they see without scrolling has to answer a certain amount of questions for them to be intrigued enough to want to go further below the fold. Now, on our phones today, this is really critical because you have to imagine that everything now is laid out in a very, very tiny format. So if you are scrolling 2, 3, 4, 5 times to get to a book button, or price menu, things like that, then people may give up.
Yeah.
So
I can
content that is impactful and powerful before the fold.
Yeah. I can be a witness to that. Not in salon pages or websites, just there's other things that, I'm on Facebook and there's shoes or something that I look and I go there and I'm like, if I have to do that for too long, I'm like, forget it. So it's true.
And Facebook alone, when are they going to get rid of all of that rigmarole at the top of all of our Facebook pages before we actually get to the posting part?
Yeah.
That's like 10 scrolls before I get to a post. Yeah. When I'm looking at, certain people's pages or going specifically to areas that I'm trying to, gain access to and everything. So that's a perfect example of they need to clean that up. Think about that. How frustrated you get just scrolling on the first half of that Facebook stuff on your page. Nobody wants to see that on your website.
Yes, exactly. So I want to just add to that because when it was shared with me, and you can tell me if your experience was the same. Before the fold came from, remember when we had newspapers and they yes. And so, I wasn't in journalism, so I had no idea what that was, but it is very important. So thank you for explaining that. So
the newspaper, you were below the fold.
Yeah. So, most people don't even get the paper anymore. So.
No, I miss the newspaper though. I used to enjoy that.
Yeah. So CRM was another term that we kind of skipped over, and people might not know exactly what that is. So can you break that one down?
That is really a stupid acronym. It's client relations and management. So I want you to think about it as just any of your software systems. So if you are on Vagaro or Mevo or Rosie or, Forest, any of those would be considered CRMs. And what they do is they house client data, they house booking, they house marketing opportunities, that type of stuff. So it's kind of like all my clients are in one safe place that I can communicate with them and book them. So I can make money.
Yeah. And track how often and all of those things.
And some of them are really sophisticated and some of them are basic. And sometimes we only use the basic features where, we need to get more sophisticated with our software systems because they actually today, they do so much of the work for us.
Right.
Set it up to do so.
Right. Yeah. Yes. Okay. All right. So there were 10 things on the list. We had some time to talk about a few of them. Is there anything, what's one thing that you felt like we left on the table that your heart has desire to share?
This is where, when we were talking at the very top end of this, Suzanne, was like, people may not understand the value of their brand. And I'm going to say that the value of their brand is their values, what's important for them, what they believe in. Because what we know is that people want to do business with people. People don't do business with companies and corporations. And especially today with this whole woke society thing going on. They want to trust you. They want to believe in you. They want to know who you are. So when you look at how you're representing yourself to your ideal clients out there, in whatever way that you do that, email, social media, website, you have to make sure that you have a presence in that. And social media is probably the easiest way to make that personal connection with people. Because not everybody's going to go to your website. A Google My Business is a very minute part of it, but a very important part of who you are. So when you're looking at posting, there's a philosophy that says post personal, post promotion, and post something, else that is educational. And if you just kind of think from those three things, and I think it was another P, but I can't remember what the damn P is. And now I sound like, now I sound like the news right now. Cause I just saw this on the news where it was like, they all forgot the third P or whatever. So here I am, I forgot the third P. But it's, so there has to be a level of personal. And if you look at some really well done Instagram pages, you'll see that there's craft, their hair, what they do, what their craft is. But you'll also see that there'll be some personal things, like maybe their dog or their trip to, the beach. And then of course there is some promotional things that it might be what they specialize in, their niche, the products they're using, some type of price off or gift with purchase type of thing that they do in there. And when you're doing those things for posting, make sure that you have an essence of headline, an essence of words that sell. In other words, pictures don't sell. They attract attention, but they don't sell.
Okay.
I want you to think about how many times somebody might have pulled up your Instagram, and you may not never know this, right? They pull up your Instagram, they show it to their hairdresser and say, see, I want my hair to look like this, but they're not going to you because you're not creating words that create a powerful selling combination to the image. They're just going back to their hairdresser and saying, can you do this? Instead of saying, I think I need to go to her or him to have my hair.
Right.
And then make sure that there's always a call to action. And it doesn't always have to be a very salesy approach to a call to action. It could be your website. It could be your phone number. It could be, something that is, more of a click here to access this promotion or this offer type of thing. But you always want to make sure that there is some call to action to do that. So I say that from a social media standpoint, because I think that Instagram is famous because everybody likes it because it's very picturesque. But if you'll notice, the trend that's going on with Instagram right now is that there's very long copy on certain posts now, because Instagram even stated, we want you to be educating on here and for people to stay on it longer and engage with you than to just keep kind of scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. They want you clicking on things because the algorithms and the paid advertising only works when you click through things, not just, surface things.
Yeah.
So the more copy, the more sales. The more copy, the more sales for Instagram. The more copy, the more ability to have the SEO and algorithms working for you. So words are important.
Yeah. It's so important to know that kind of back office thing, that you just shared of This is the machine that's happening that you're feeding, and what is that machine asking for? And it changes. I mean, look at how many times over the years that Facebook has changed and how they do things, and they keep updating it. And so having somebody in your back pocket that knows what those things are and pays attention, because if you actually set aside time to do these posts and create all this social media stuff, because let's face it, you have to step out of your practice to be able to sit down and do this and have the time.
Yeah.
The last thing that you want to have happen is that it was a waste of time, because you're creating something that's not, it got nothing. Yeah.
Right. It got no likes. It got no engagement. You don't know whether you got new clients off of it, because you don't have systems set up to be able to say that. So one of the things that we're tracking in our salon right now is how, I mean, we've got an abundance of new clients. And, you know, when you have to think, this is a migration time. There's a lot of people moving.
Yes.
They didn't like where they were, or they might, this is the time for them to try somewhere new. So not only was there migration in stylists, you know, moving around and going, but there was also migration with clients. So we've had a slew of new clients, and we were really curious, where are they coming from? How are they finding us? So now we're creating a tracking system of, if it's a new client, we're asking them the questions. If it's online, they're going through a little survey. If it's on the phone, our front desk team is asking them these questions to find out how they found out about us. And the truth is right now what it is word of mouth. So they're saying, oh, one of my friends referred me, or I think a client, one of your clients that currently goes there, or someone I work with referred to me. So existing clients are telling other clients about it, but you have to think about it from the reverse order. Did they ask?
Did the client, the new client, ask their friend?
Yes. Did they say, where are you getting your hair done? Or, you know, I've always loved your hair. Where do you go? Type of thing. So you have to figure, it's not about your client telling a friend. It's about the friend asking a friend and saying, where do you go? And then being able to trust that that client that's currently, you know, doing business with you, is happy to refer you, So, you know, referral systems might be something that salons need to look at right now. You know, reward those that are sharing this. So we found out that was most of it. The other part of it, because we're on a very busy street, the other part of it was drive-by. They drove by and saw us.
Isn't that interesting with all of this? Social media. Yeah, with all this technology and all of these different platforms for social media, that this is kind of like back to the basics. Like word of mouth advertising really has always been the main thing, in my opinion. So it's not, it will always, it is a surprise to me, and it's not a surprise to me at the same time.
But you have to do all of them in order to be well-rounded. So what does that tell you? If clients are referring us and saying, oh my gosh, I love my stylist, please go visit her, she'll love to see you, you know, type of thing, then that means that their experience once they're inside the salon is worthy of them sharing. So it means that what we're doing on the outside is matching who we are on the inside. And that's part of our values. Okay. We can't have this fancy website or these super duper social posts that are one thing, but when they come in, it doesn't align. It's not compatible. It wouldn't be sustainable for the long term either. But what we put on the outside is who we are on the inside. And that's where marketing and branding kind of have that marriage together. Because then it says we're true to who we say we are, and our values are the foundation of what we promote and what we want to showcase to you so that you can refer us to your friends.
I have actually been in that situation before, just sharing a personal story. As you were talking, it popped up in my mind of somebody that asked for a referral outside of the industry. And I was like, I really don't want to refer you there. You know, like, yeah, that's where I go, but it's not a place that anyway. So, as you're explaining it, I'm like, yeah, I get what you're saying. You want it to be, they're so happy to be able to share that, oh, you'll love it there. This is a great place. I'm happy to refer you there. So, and the migration thing is happening so much, I think, too, because depending on how the salon A that they were attending, either like you said, the practitioner made a move and isn't there anymore, and wherever they are, they're like, oh, I'm not sure I want to, it's too far away, or it doesn't fit for whatever reason. Or not that the practitioner made a move, but they had to make a change on how they scheduled, and so they're scheduling one person at a time, or everybody can't be in the
Get
salon
in.
at the same time, so they just can't get in. So that's why when I hear people that are saying, there's just, people aren't coming in, this isn't, and I'm thinking, there are people all over the place that are right now looking for where their new salon is going to be.
If you don't have new clients coming into you right now, then that is an internal branding issue.
Right.
That people don't feel like you're meeting that who I am and what I say I am. Now, it might be that you're not even putting your brand out there, and this is where you'd have to go into some marketing, but it might be that your branding is not working for you if you are doing it. And you might need to take another closer look at that in there. And I might be referencing it from a salon owner or a spa owner capacity right now, Suzanne, but the truth is this also is relevant for even if you're a stylist working for an employee-based salon or spa. You're still responsible for, that brand and that connection that you have to the salon that you work at. You have to be a part of that brand. You're not necessarily separate from that.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree. So it's because we've been talking about like going back to the basics and more that face to face. And I think it has a lot to do with because people are so needing that type of interaction right now too. The salon is one of the only places that you can visit. A lot of doctors' offices, even, I've said this before in other interviews, so if somebody has watched all of them, they're probably thinking, oh my goodness, she already shared that. But it's worth sharing again that having a salon visit is the only place somebody can go where you can touch them. And that personal connection just is kind of lost right now. So they do want that and need it for their mental health, really, is what it comes down to.
It's been phenomenal. Like even after a year, a little more than a year since we've been, open again, that we're still getting clients coming back for the first time.
Right. Yeah. So amazing. So when you talk about that individual practitioner that is trying to figure out working on their own brand, because I do agree. I think this is what your point was, is that you may work for a salon that there's several practitioners that are in there, and that salon or spa has its own brand, right? But I feel like then it gets brought down to you as the individual. Like you say, the pictures that you're posting of your work is very specific to your brand, and those personal pictures, like the 3 Ps that you were talking about, that comes down to, well, yeah, I like this salon because it's in this location. Now, who do I want to see in that salon? Which practitioner am I going to pick? And what are the choices? So something else that I guess this does apply to whether it's the whole salon or it's just the individual practitioner, is your thoughts on some other ways to show your branding. I mean, even if it's your logo and your tagline, the one-liner of where you can display that, where, I mean, it used to be that you would have a bag, right, that they would take home their retail in, that at least that had your brand on it, your branding. A lot of states now I don't know about where you live, but we got rid of bags. So,
Oh, yeah.
um,
Yeah, we still have bags here in Georgia.
okay, well, get ready
Yeah, it's coming.
for
It's
the
coming.
plan on taking your own bags to the grocery store, or anywhere else for that matter. So, what are some of the places that you feel like is really good placement for being able to be front of mind for people?
Yeah, and I'm a big believer that anytime you're doing any marketing or branding, what you're trying to do ultimately is solve people's problems. So, part of your branding could be making sure that you're solving problems with what you specialize in. So this could be the salon as a whole, okay? And then the individual people within the salon. So, there might be some people that specialize in blonding. And you could say pretty much everybody needs to specialize in blonding, but be unique. And you might say, I specialize in reds, or I specialize in creating the most beautiful brunettes.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you think about it, like some of the number one types of looks that people walk in for are the J-Los, the Jennifer Aniston hair. They're not walking in and saying, I want, platinum blonde types of looks. They're walking in and saying, how do I get this look like J-Lo has or Jennifer
Mm-hmm.
Aniston has, type of thing. So, that's specializing in brunettes to create that warm blonde sun glow type of look, type of thing. So, find those niches that you can be creative in.
Mm-hmm.
Some of our people, they specialize in smoothing treatments. Not all of them. We're doing perms again. We're actually
I
doing
know.
waves again. And
Uh-huh.
you should have seen it. It was like those of us that had did perms, we were like all awkward with this new system, like, oh, what do we do? But the young kids, the younger generation, our millennials and Gen Zs in our salon, they picked it right up.
Uh-huh.
And they're still a little nervous about it because the truth is most people have colored hair. So it's a matter of like, am I compromising the hair?
Uh-huh.
Because it's color treated. And back in the day when we did perms, we weren't necessarily coloring as much. We were perming. And
Yes.
so, but you could say you specialize in beachy waves, you specialize in smoothing treatments, you specialize in hair cutting, you specialize in men's, specialize in razor cutting, shags, so just kind of define yourself a little bit with that. And then what you have is a very well-rounded salon of a lot of great experts.
Right. Yeah. Um, that I really do feel like the industry has kind of shifted into more, especially in color, obviously, where they're just what you said, the blonding specialist or the red specialist, and then it's somebody else that for the hair extensions, and it's somebody else
Hair
for
extensions, yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Those are perfect niches. Now, people are afraid to narrow down the niche because they feel like, well, I don't want to just be known for redheads. But when you get 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 redheads, is that enough? I mean,
Uh-huh.
it's not like blondes aren't going to come to you. They're probably thinking, well, if she can specialize in a redhead, she's got to be good at blondes too. It's not depleting or detracting from you as an expert in a broad range of your craft. It's narrowing in to find clients that think you're good enough for them,
Mm-hmm. Right. I
and
like it.
trying to be a little less competitive to the overall market.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I'm a blonding specialist. Well, yes, guess what? Everybody is. But not all our clients want to be blonde.
Yeah, right. Um, so, okay. I'm sorry, I lost my place here. I want to talk about the referrals and I'm sorry, not the referrals, the reviews is the word I was looking for, and the importance of collecting those and posting those. And we touched on it a little bit about that's has such value. You go on Amazon or something. I mean, I speak for myself, but I'm pretty sure most people do the same thing before they decide to make a purchase as well. Let me hear from the other people who've already bought it, what they think.
Yeah, yeah.
So
It's
it's
so
not
true.
going to be any different in the salon industry. So let's talk a little bit about reviews.
Yeah, it's I think pretty much all of these CRM systems, your software systems, have a review component. And so you want to make sure you're doing that. But it's also really valid for you to create awareness for the client to be able to do it. Now, ours automatically go to the clients following their service. And it does start to create a buildup of it. But we recently switched software systems. So we had like 3,500, and I'd say 99.9% of them were 5-star reviews. But because we switched systems, we lost every single one of those reviews. Now, obviously, I took pictures of them. Probably 50 or so took pictures of them. So if I needed to add them to posts, or put a couple on the website as more static pieces, that they would be there. But the truth is we have already hundreds of reviews with our new system that are like 5-star reviews, and so we're building it back up. And we're contributing it to like 3 different areas. So Google would be one. So Google My Business, and getting your clients to go and do a review on Google is probably the most important, because where do we all go to find the new salon in our town?
Right. Yeah.
We're not going to Vagaro or Mevo or Forest. We don't go to a software system for a review. We go to Google. So Google reviews are going to show up first, and then you go to the website, and then those reviews are usually typically connected to your software system, and then we look at those from there. So you want to make reviews a priority, because consumers today are not willing to take the risk, and they want to know that there's someone good. And a lot of times they're looking for names. So you may not have all of your staff updated on a website, or even on your website. And so what they're doing in those reviews is they're looking to see what names start showing up. Like, oh, Suzanne does a great job of my hair. I love Suzanne. She's been doing my hair for 10 plus years. And then all of a sudden they're like calling up and going, yeah, I want to book with Suzanne. Because it's how they can then not just call the salon and say, who's good? And the salon's like, well, it's not a matter of who's good, it's who's available, right? So a consumer will do their due diligence, but you have to make sure that it's consumer savvy for them to want to do that due diligence. So reviews are critical.
I feel like practitioners have a hard time asking for the review. That it, for whatever reason, puts them in an awkward situation of, it's just a awkward ask, I guess. So I love the system doing it for them via email. Then it's not, hey, would you mind writing a review? Or so if it's just kind of like an automatic.
Yeah, or feeling like you have to do an incentive with it. Now, if you are a salon and you're struggling to get reviews, add an incentive to it. If you'll write a review from me, you'll get something off your next service, or you can save 20% off of any retail item today if you'll do a review from me now, type of thing. It's okay to ask. And then I think the other side of it, Suzanne, that I do want to mention here is sometimes people freak out about a negative review. Right. And then what happens is they make it worse by plugging away in it and just saying, well, you came in and we looked at your hair and you agreed to all of this, and you didn't come back to me when I said, if you weren't happy with it, come back to me. And, and then what they do is they're arguing, and all it's doing is fueling the fire of this client, saying, you are not a worthy business for me or anyone else to be going into if this is how you're going to treat me. And, and they feel like they have to justify it. And my suggestion is don't, if you really need to follow up on it, you should probably call that client directly. You don't argue on a review, but you can just say, thank you so much for your feedback. I will be in touch. Okay. And that is acknowledging that you were aware someone wasn't happy, but don't argue on a review, because all it does is rise it to the top. Okay.
Gotcha.
Nobody's perfect. So you get a 1-star review and you start fighting on it, it will rise to the top. And then it's going to take you longer to bury it.
Right. Well,
with good reviews.
Yeah. And like your point is that it doesn't look good. It doesn't look professional. Yeah. So, and they're going to happen. I mean,
Oh,
not
yeah.
everybody is a match for everybody, right?
Yep.
So there can just be the personality differences, or um, the salon culture is not quite a fit for that particular client
Yeah.
coming in the
And
door. And there's nothing wrong with that.
no, sometimes it doesn't work. You know, stylists, if you're seeing 10 clients a day, 5 days a week, you know, that's 50 clients. Not all 50 are going to be happy with you every single time. So it's
Hmm.
just, you know, it's the numbers, it's a numbers game. So occasionally somebody's not going to be satisfied. Occasionally you're going to be a little off your game in maybe giving them the results that they originally wanted. It's okay.
Hmm.
You
Yeah.
know, we're
Right.
human. We're human doing human work on human hair.
Yes. Yes.
So, you know,
Yes.
give yourself a little break on these things as they're showing up, but trust that most people write reviews for the good.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you for saying that, because people do need to hear that it's okay, and
Yeah.
you just learn from it and move forward. So I do have one question for you that is kind of a polling question, if you will. It's kind of one of the reasons for the entire summit of we want to see great change come out of where we've been over the last year and moving forward. So it's been really interesting to ask each speaker this very important question. So please be transparent and honest.
Mm.
What is one thing in the industry that you feel like you would like to see change or evolve or grow? It, all of us as coaches are passionate about the business, obviously, right? So
Yeah.
I'm sure that there's somewhere that we see improvement that we're like, if this was the one thing, if I had a magic wand that I could do, this would be it.
I mean, that's such a loaded question,
I
Susan.
know.
Oh my
I know.
goodness. But I have to just go back to what we've been talking about this whole time, and what the pre-recorded presentation was about was whether you're an owner, whether you're an independent or suite stylist, or whether you're a stylist in an employee-based environment, you have to understand that when you're managing a clientele, you're managing a business. You may not be managing the whole business,
Yeah.
but you're managing a business. And what I would love to see evolve is that we really understand that we are in the people business. So we
Hmm.
got to be people first and our craft second.
Yeah.
I got to figure out how to be a better communicator to get the client to understand what she's saying she wants from me and what I'm able to deliver in a craft. If I can be better at communicating, I can get the results that she's looking for and that I can achieve.
Hmm.
But I have to be a business savvy person first,
First. Yes.
in order to manage a full book of clientele. And for those people that are young and they're starting out in this industry and they don't have a full book of clientele, you're going to realize that managing a book of clientele is a lot more than just learning how to do a balayage or a new beachy wave perm
Hmm.
system. That it's managing your time, it's managing being able to have conversations with them while doing your craft and selling them on products that are going to have their hair look their best, be their best, and last as long as you're hoping that it will, and how to teach them how to pre-book and teach them how to make it look great at home. I mean, there's just so much more to it, and all of that is the business side of what we do
Hmm.
and not just the technical side of what we do.
Right. Yes. I 100%
Business
agree.
first.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I think that's my why of getting into coaching full time. And because when I would work in salons, that was the thing that I would see so much of the time. And again, it's not something that is a focus in trade school. So you
No.
don't get it there. And it's not something that usually is a natural born talent or gift. So we don't get it there. And so for us in this industry, we have to seek it out. But this summit proves how much of it there is out there.
Yeah.
There's so much of it. So, please take advantage of the all access pass for all of the offers that are here. Because I wanted to have a summit that wasn't about that practical side. We weren't doing any color techniques or cutting techniques. This was all about the business. So let's hope, Bonnie, that we made a dent in it a little bit, like
I'm
at
sure
least for
you
the
have.
people that have come to the summit.
Yeah, I'm sure that you have, and I'm sure that people really enjoyed all that you had to offer. And if it makes people think about what that next step is, then hopefully they got enough information to be able to take those next steps.
Yeah. Yes. One thing, just start with the one thing first on the list. So, yep, download Bonnie's list, the 10 things, schedule that strategy call, and you can make a huge difference by the end of 2021. That's the challenge for everybody here today. Yeah. So, okay. So such good stuff, Bonnie. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you to all of you that are watching either on the replay or here live. My heart is so full with all that was offered at this summit, as this is kind of our wrapping it up. We saved the best for last, right, Bonnie?
Well, thank you. I feel honored.
Yes. So with that said, I'll close. I'm Suzanne L. Anderson of Be Salon Savvy, your host for the Savvy Salon Summit, where we're empowering the beauty business to new heights. We'll see you soon.